So the light worker grid on Earth within the third dimensional duality existence got coded and got imprinted upon with a lot of servitude and sacrifice. And there's been narratives, warped narratives even. You know, we spoke about this the other day, about like Christ and Buddha and Mary, like all the, you know, Mother Teresa, like that they got seen as people that sacrifice so much. A long time ago, people were told if they sacrifice and really sacrifice in this lifetime, what? Will you tell me? What happens if you really sacrifice in this lifetime? What happens in heaven? You get rewarded. 1 million virgins will come and greet you at the gates, you know. I don't know why anyone would want that, but anyway. Right? Never got that one. And so with your soul's permission, with your conscious permission, we're also working inside of this transmission to, like, there's an initiation and a gift of this beautiful template which comes and codes with you. And of course, just by walking the grids of the land, you're sharing this by people being around you, your own choices, the who you become, right? Because the who you become is someone who serves in abundance, in joy, has service be your art, your pleasure, your bliss. You remember. Who remembers when Rubia was channeling the beautiful 12D leopard beings, that when we asked them, what's some advice for us that, you know, you could give us beyond what we're maybe conscious of? Who remembers what they said? They said, enjoy. Have fun, play. Don't, you know, paraphrasing, don't take your friggin' ascension and mission so seriously. Have fun with it. It's not meant to, it was joyful for you to come to Earth and have a mission to help humanity, to help the animals, to help the trees, to help whatever. That was meant to be fun. And then somewhere along the lines, we entered a light worker grid where that fun, it was like, no, it's not okay to have fun doing this. There's some serious work to do. There's people suffering. And you take that smile off your face. There's people being enslaved and all sorts of shit going on. And now you stop enjoying. That's right. That's much better. Much better. Now you make it, you really now sacrifice for it and work really hard and don't get rewarded because you should be doing this. My goodness. I can't believe you're actually asking for money for helping other people and helping. What is wrong with you, asshole? And so what started off with you in the quantum, with your soul writing out a contract going, wee, let's go to Earth and do this and this and this, ended up being a, oh, this is not very fun anymore. And so with your permission, we're going really deep within your DNA and within your cellular structure, within the interconnections that you have, deep subconsciously, right? To then scoop out. Scooping is a really powerful process to scoop out and or to evolve certain templates and codes. And does this make sense? And we're inviting all of these frequencies within the quantum blueprint of you that is, of course, linking, and you receive this in the light worker grid of Earth, to come and evolve, to come and have more fun, to shift, to expand, to do all these things. And effectively, then there is no frequency within the field anymore, meaning there is nothing inside of my field now. It's why I'm able to do this initiation with you, because I went through this myself, having to fully scoop out savior and hero and imprints of servitude across so many lifetimes, because you've been here before. And some of those lifetimes you've been here, when light workers have had many lifetimes where they've done this, you can imagine when they come back, it's so easy to reactivate that within the field, or the susceptibility to take it from the grid and have it be in our field. And so this is such a powerful moment in history, I feel, because we're choosing as a collective to harmonize and say, okay, we're complete with that. And we're now going to anchor a whole new grid, a whole new set of templates, and walk a path of anchoring the light truth, which is that we came here to have a fun mission, an abundant mission. In fact, when we are having a fun, abundant mission, we're on our highest timeline of mission. When we are in scarcity, suffering, and sacrifice, we're not in our highest timeline of mission, which means, are we even truly fulfilling our mission at the highest? Sit with that for a moment. Do we really anchor the purity of the codes and templates we came here to anchor in the frequency of sacrifice? Remember, frequency is the glue. You know, the frequency in which we do anything is going to determine what timeline, what alternate reality, and how it's all delivered. This is why there's been such a beautiful invitation for everyone to always be in your highest frequency when you channel, when you deliver, to anchor into the higher realms. Yeah. And then what timelines do we walk upon? And we can shift anytime. So I want you to take a moment and really feel into your field and really, imagine with me. Imagine with me a world where all light workers, all mission souls remember that they came here to have a fun mission, that they didn't come here to save anyone or be a hero. They know everyone's a sovereign being. They know that everything's whole and complete. And they came here to sprinkle their beautiful, purest codes onto the planet to expand, to create an evolution, an expansion, and an ascension. They don't have to do anything. This was meant to be fun. Imagine if all the light workers on the planet remembered this. And then open up and see and feel in your field what realities, what timelines would be created when everyone is serving in fun and joy. When there is no more warrior of light needed. Instead, all that is needed is a joyful soul of light. A beautiful, joyful keeper of light, a soul of light that's anchoring. And that soul values the codes and templates their soul has spent eternity collecting, and feels very comfortable to receive a thank you for it. At this point in time, the thank you is currency. Can you see that receiving a thank you for sharing your codes while we're in configurations of Earth that we need to feed ourselves and shelter ourselves, meaning that in this reality that we find ourselves serving in, having resources really matters. And therefore, the greatest gift to receive a thank you for the codes that you give is resources. Because guess what light workers do with resources? They create beautiful realities. Now, I really want you to tune in, because we want to make sure that we're going super deep with this on every single level. And so the first conversation we're going to have today is, please have your book and pen ready, because this is kind of like a journaling process, a bit of a quantum coaching process. Shamatai satui matai. And now we're going to answer a few questions. At any given moment, for us to be susceptible to an imprint, a template, a code, or anything, we have to be getting something out of it. Cool? So the very, very first question is, and I want you to really go inwards and ask higher self, and really just tune in and spend some time with this. What's the positive gain of being in servitude or sacrificing or being a hero or a savior? What's the positive gain? For some people, You know, we get significance out of it, importance, meaning, we become worthy. What's the positive gain within your field? What have you been getting out of having these frequencies in your field in any capacity? And go as deep as you possibly can. And then ask, what else? What else could I be getting out of this? Yep, so this is, yeah, what is the positive gain? What could I be getting out of rescuing people, saving people, being a hero, being a savior, sacrificing myself for others? Remember, fawning defense mechanisms literally sacrifice themselves for others for safety. Even if you draw a blank, just sit with it and go, what could it be? Putting other people's needs before yours all the time. What am I getting out of it? Whenever you don't, if ever you've even micro sacrificed yourself, micro fawned, why? Why could you have possibly sacrificed yourself, your needs? What was the ultimate purpose, the ultimate gain? What was your why for doing it, for being it? Sita, Sita, Sita mutai la, mutai mutai, tui 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 tui. Welcoming Metatron into the field, into your field if you wish to support you with this. Already welcoming our beautiful friends, Archangel Michael, Raphael, Metatron. Now, as you continue in this inquiry, I want to have a few people share, because sometimes people share something and you're like, oh my God, that's the thing. And you just couldn't consciously find it. And the importance of this is when we see what we're getting consciously, we observe it. As soon as we see it, most of the time, that alone, just the witnessing of it, completely takes the susceptibility away. Yeah, because there's a conscious, like your divine consciousness views it. So this is a really important part. So is there anyone in the room? Beautiful. There you go. Rebecca's going to share first.
Good morning, everyone. It started off as an act of service and showing love, but then it quickly turned into codependency and a way of me being seen and acknowledged, you know, like, and it sort of, it started off beautiful and then turned really ugly and slimy all over it.
There's
So
a lot of self-gain in it,
yeah,
isn't there?
so importance and relevance
Yeah.
for me being there instead of just being enough.
Yeah, right. Thank you. Oops. Anyone else in the room? Sky, and then we'll go. And if you can also share beyond what others have shared, if that's okay, just to add to, would that be okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
So for me, it was same kind of things for significance and recognition, but what the deeper thing for me was an avoidance of myself.
Huh. And can you go into how exactly? How would you be avoiding yourself when you're
So if I could
busy with others?
I could focus on, I could see so clearly everyone else's places in which they needed to heal and how I could help them. And then I was gaining the recognition and significance and not really having to look at any part of my own shadow. So that was huge. And everything just kept avoiding myself. And has been the biggest theme for me. And reconciling that, calling back all parts of myself so that I don't do that. And then I go, I did it for all the, all the reasons to fill that void within me. And now actually being with the void shifts things.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Oops, thank you. Online, if you could raise your hand if you'd like to share. Awesome. Anastasia, if you could come first.
Hi, I'll just add on top of that because that's exactly what I had. But for me, it was I funneled my genius and my creativity to build a structure of my not enoughness so that I could, again, feel that significance and stuff, but it became a way of surviving. And so I had no idea that was what I built it on. So, I almost call it like evil genius, like using it for like to just keep all this stuff at bay. It was like if something was bad and I just put all my energy into it I almost imagine it just being like frozen and then having to work with it like it'll never go away. And then I felt really proud of myself because then I did feel accepted and important and significant in the community that I could serve. Yeah. So just kind of built on top of hers.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Katie?
Yeah, all of that. I loved Sky's one as well. That gave me goosebumps. And it makes me feel important, like I'm doing good in the world. When it's a partner, if I'm saving them, then they'll stay with me and then I won't feel lonely. And I'll always have someone there for me. And yeah, everything everyone else said makes me feel respected, loved, all of that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Who else online? Please raise your hand. Beautiful. Mel?
This is fun because I've actually had this raw experience. It was actually a task that Gabby gave me to see where I was playing this out about a year ago. And going even deeper again into this was that I was actually shown during this process that what I was doing was false light leadership. So on the front, I was like, I'm doing this amazing thing and I'm helping the community and I'm sacrificing myself for the betterment of others. But actually behind the back of that was all coded with lower realm codes. And I was allowing myself to play in someone else's grid, to share in their realm of scarcity and their realms of belief. And what that gave me was power, was, feeling enoughness because I was always like to someone else's grid. And then I was the hero. I was the one who sacrificed. I was the one who was doing all the good. And it was literally fueling me up and charging me up with false light. and none of it was actually of service at all. But when she asked what else, and then from my higher self said to me, it actually gave me the correct codes, and it was a part of my soul journey. It was a part of my soul frequency. Like I had to actually receive that so that I could know the difference between true leadership and false light leadership. But it was actually my choice on how long I stayed in that grid for. And my human decided to stay in that grid for like longer than actually I needed to, because I'm really quick at uploading stuff, and so I could have gone in and out of it like and shifted really fast. But my human decided to stay a little bit longer and make sure that I really took the hard road a couple more times. But if I hadn't done that journey, I literally would not be on the path that I'm on now. I wouldn't have the correct frequency to take my leadership role as I do now, which is like literally in joy and fun and stuff that actually makes me so excited. So that was great. Thank you. I hope that served.
Thanks, honey. Really, really thank you. Awesome. Who else online has something to add? Or Ria? Yep, please come off mute, Ria.
I'm in the darkness, so there's no video, but I've got completely different stuff came up to me. Some of the stuff that Mel said about this kind of just this leadership that I can relate, but for me, due to certain past lives that I've got, what I always look for is approval of the common people and being seen as one of the people.
Yeah.
That's the biggest things for me, and it's like this. And not to, so on one hand side, to be seen as one of the people, and not to be seen as selfish, not to be seen as greedy, not to be seen as disingenuous, all of that. So yeah, I just have this thing like I want to be one of the people. I'm this kind of rebel, like Robin Hood, you know.
Oh, thank you. That's I can really just feel that rippling through. Oof, like whoa, goosebumps. Thank you. Oof. Who else online would like to add to the fire? Tangi, and then Bridget, and then who else have we got? Lynn. So let's go with Tangi first.
Hello.
Hey, honey.
So totally piggybacking on is it Ria or Raya?
So Tangi, if you can add, like if please remember to also expand. So but piggyback away, and also like
yes, absolutely. That's what I was gonna do. But is it Ria or Raya? I didn't know. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing her name correctly.
I call her Ria. Actually, it is Ria, right?
Ria.
Yeah. Thanks.
Ria.
Okay,
So that's exactly what I wrote down, was just to feel seen, appreciated, and accepted. And then it was like, what else? And it was to experience the gift in it, to experience the gift of my own self-love, of that journey, and setting healthy boundaries for myself to learn about that.
So so what you get out of saving people and being a hero is to
It was the gift to learn about it, to learn to love myself, because I wasn't loving myself when I was doing that.
Got you. Totally get it. Slightly different. You're answering a slightly different question with that, which is completely lovely. It's kind of more, which is great. I want you to also tune into when and if ever there is a saving of another person and needing to be a hero for another person. In that moment, if you're putting all of your stuff aside, maybe sacrificing yourself in any way, shape, or form, really putting yourself out in any way, shape, or form to help another person on a really large level. What do you get out of that personally right now in this moment? What do you get out of doing that kind of stuff? Like right now, you are taking care of your children's father, and even let's have a look at that and have a look at what you're getting out of that. What's the positive gain out of that? And I'm not saying I'm not saying that you're playing into the savior hero yet.
Right.
Yet, like, let's actually just look through that eye of the needle and go, what are you getting out of that?
Oh, I'm getting out of a deeper connection with him, our friendship, our co-parenting, our son being able to see us really connecting at a deeper level as a
Beautiful.
co-family.
Great.
Mhm.
That feels really clean. Awesome.
Mhm.
And when we look at other scenarios, so it's not so much that like, what am I getting out of this as a soul? Because your second answer was what's the soul getting out of the journey? It's more when we're looking at this, it's really looking at what does the, what's with, so I'm going to give you an example. For me, running a hero template, what I got out of that was the belief that I was creating a new earth and I had to do certain things in order to create a new earth. Does that make sense? And there was this like, I get a new earth out of being a hero. I get to create a new earth, leave a legacy on the planet. It was really strongly in the field of, I have to do this. If I don't do this, who will? Who will do this mission, this project? Who will sacrifice themselves if I don't? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else there for you in that regard? See. And it's okay if nothing comes consciously.
Yeah. So for me, again, it was like for the opposite of like what I was getting out of it was as to be seen. Exactly what Rhea wrote. I wrote that I'm like to feel seen.
Cool.
And accepted.
Yep, that's where it's capped at the beautiful. Thank you so much, honey. Thank you for sharing.
Yes. Thank you.
Everybody right now, if you can all just take a moment to tune into the transmutation grid inside of Magic School. It's this big quantum technology grid work that transmutes deep, deep layers that we're actually not feeling comfortable to witness or transmute ourselves. And together, transmutation grid, activate. Sending everything into the transmutation grid for processing, for transmuting around this topic, taking it out of our field, out of our organs, taking it out of our physical body, our aura, and placing it, taking it out of our crystalline light body and placing it into the transmutation grid. Thank you, beautiful transmutation grid, for transmuting all of this. Beautiful. And now to continue, Lynn, if you could come off mute and share, is there more stuff that you'd like to add to the fire? Is there more gains that haven't been mentioned?
Yeah, I think on top of all these that were mentioned, it's what comes to me is like fire. It's fueling me, and it's giving me sense of purpose. I think that's what's coming out very strongly, like the sense of purpose. And then also it's giving a compensation kind of feeling that like all the challenges that I'm experiencing in life, they're meant to be here so that I can actually go out there and save everyone. Like it was kind of like a feeling of compensation as well. But also the fuel, really like the fire that it gives. And I'm the only one who can do it, and I have to do it. And who otherwise is gonna do it? Like as you shared before, like the whole world on your shoulders, basically, kind of feeling, Yeah,
and then we're special, right? And then we're this special ancient soul that was the chosen one. Oh,
exactly. Yeah.
Chosen one. Yep. Thank you very much for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
And is there anybody else that would like to add to this, to expand it? Does it feel complete, or is that, Bridget, you've got more? And then Vivi, you've got more?
Yeah, I just want to preface this by saying my nervous system is really activated by this topic. So I had a lot of the things that people have said already, but then I had one that was different, which was, and I don't fully understand it, but somebody said, I do this to be seen, but mine was the opposite. It's like if I do what is the role that is expected of me, then I don't have to be seen in my authenticity and potentially rejected. So I'm doing it to stay small.
Wow. Thank you. That's,
Yeah,
yeah.
I have a lot of emotion around that, actually. And then I had another one, which is sort of feels more surface, but potentially related. I just instantly thought of the example of my kids. And I'm like, sometimes it is more effort to empower somebody, to take the time to empower somebody, than to just do the job for them, like, or rescue them. So I was just thinking, for example, I could battle with my children to make them tidy up their room. I'll just do it and it'll take me 2 minutes.
Thank you. That's, we take a moment with that. Sometimes we rescue and we save because we don't have enough time in the day. This takes too much effort. And then to even, thank you.
Really hard.
Which then, of course, is leading to like, well, being okay with having somebody else's shit fall apart around us and create a little bubble of love and just let it fall and, you know, and right. Because some of us, you know, in the susceptibility, it's like we want everything to be perfect around us. Yeah. That's when we feel safe and happy, you know, which is of course linked to the fawning defense mechanism in a really big way. Yet, thank you so much for sharing that into the fire. Just really, whoa, I can feel what that's doing in the grids of the world. And the truth is that it's not two choices. It's not either I do it for you or I show you how to do it. There's many other choices. One of them is I let it be, you know. It's like, cool, yeah, like rock on. I'll give you some guidance. I'll give you, we don't have to take on the full project. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, and just breathing too, remembering to, one of the best ways to support our nervous system as it's going through a transformation too, is just slow breaths, as easy as breathing in, and then like Cal said, breathing out slowly and having the out breath be longer than the in breath. Doesn't have to be all fancy and, you know, like 8 million steps. Just breathing and holding your nervous system. Anyone that's feeling this too, like, you know, telling, like, just going, hey, nervous system, giving you a cuddle, we've got this. Because this work that we're doing right now is really deep in supporting the evolution and ascension of the full nervous system. So it's very normal for that. So we can all just take a moment and love up on our nervous systems and our defense mechanisms right now. Thank you, Bridget. Loving your nervous system, loving your defense mechanism. We're on a journey today to expand, to evolve. See, die. Yay. Now, is there anybody else? Vivi, did you still want to add something to the fire? And that will be the last one. And then we're going to go into the next step. So fire ready for you, baby.
Hi. So right after, because I know Lynn said purpose, but I wanted to add this because this is what I wrote afterward. It's just like, I'm not a complete failure if I'm able to help someone else.
So if my life is going to shit, but I can help other people, then I'm still successful. Yeah, interesting. I like that's. Thank you. That's definitely a new one. Can some others relate when you really tune in? It's like, because there is a pressure for us to have this perfect life on earth, that's what success means when everything is perfect. And the truth is, if we're going for an evolution and an ascension of a grid, sometimes the in between, jumping from grid to another grid or evolving a grid, in that moment of transition, the physical world can actually not look that great. That's when we can have, you know, a swollen face, a bloated tummy, diarrhea, do you know what I mean? Or like emotionally, we can be purging a fair bit, or mentally, we could find ourselves forgetting things. Like, it's actually in that moment of big quantum shifting, we, in that moment in time, don't meet 3D success templates, you know? So thank you, really helpful. All right, now the next piece for our consciousness. we know what we've been getting out of it. Now let's have a look at what it really costs us. So what does it really cost to run to have any of these templates, frequencies, imprints inside of our field? And you want to have a look at the list that you've created and added to, and you're kind of looking at it like this, you know, what's it costing me? And, you know, is the price really worth the gain? So at the same time, does that make sense? So to give you a bit of a starting point too, you know, for me, running Saviour and Hero templates, what it was costing me was really enjoying my mission on Earth, because my mission became a burden. My mission became a weight on my shoulders, and it was a have to. Yeah, like there was this like, you know, all of a sudden I'm carrying this massively heavy sword around with me everywhere I go. It created heavy realities, and it also cost me truly beautiful sovereign realities, because as long as I was doing this, I was in realities where other people were running the opposite program, needing to be saved, looking for a hero, and therefore putting a lot of pressure on me, which meant that I wasn't hanging out with as many people that were as self-aware, as self-conscious in their sovereignty. I wasn't able to access those people. As a mission soul, what that means is, what quality of client do we attract? So therefore, it was costing me my ideal, most funnest clients ever. Is that helpful? And let you now sit with adding to what's it really costing you. Go deep. See. Good spot, because you're about to. Do you want a blanket? And looking at your lists, really asking yourself, is the cost worth? Is the gain worth this price? Because this is a price that you're paying. You know, it's like if you were to give it a price point, $1 billion, you know, yet it's done in this way. And for me, there was this moment where realizing that I was sacrificing myself, micro-sacrificing myself. I had to endure hurt because apparently other people couldn't regulate their nervous systems, and apparently other people couldn't friggin', you know, process their lives, and other people couldn't do their shit, so I had to do it for them. And therefore ended up in realities where that was the truth, having to constantly become, you know, there was always someone somewhere in my personal life, like beyond my clients though, and in situations, hard situations, serving, but it's hard. It's, you know, where you're not actually having fun. It was, I remember going, no, I quit being a hero. I fucking quit. Because now we look at one more question. What's beyond all this? What's available? And I want you to write this down. And this is only if you're truly in a place where you're not willing to pay the price. So let me know, actually in the room, are you at a place where you are 100% the price is not worth the gain.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yep. Everyone online, raise your hand. The price is not worth the gain. It's like you just realized you've been paying $1 million for toothpicks, you know, and you could have just taken the end of some book and used it, you know, for free. Like you don't need to do that, or use your nail. The price is not worth the gain. I can't believe I've just been unconsciously paying this much for this. Cool. Now, what's available beyond it? What becomes available when we are in abundant service, when we are serving joyfully? What becomes available? By receiving the abundant service template and shifting into a whole new grid, a whole new universe. By the way, we do totally shift into a whole other set of earths, different people, different stuff. And by doing this, some people may leave your field. You may have some clients leave your field, some friends leave your field. So heads up, this is a big one. This is the I'm just giving you a heads up on this one, and I'm here to support you through it if it happens. Yeah. And please know, for the most part, you guys have been prepared for this. So it's already been happening up until this point. There's been a lot leaving your field, preparing you for this, for a more graceful version of this. Yeah, just heads up. Why is it worth it, though, to shift into that new universe? What's in that new universe that's friggin' delicious? And I can tell you right now, true freedom, true abundance, and true new era of, like, this is the golden age of existence. We cannot have a golden age of existence if we are in realities where there's heroes and there's victims. How? It's a duality templated reality, and it's hierarchical. There's no sovereignty. Every person that needs to be saved is not sovereign, and therefore we're not in the grids of the new earth. In the grids of the new earth, everyone's sovereign and amazing and awesome. Which means that the ultimate gain is entering the 5D grids, the 5D realities, the new earth. The ultimate gift is ascending to higher realms of existence. The ultimate gift is embodying more of our 5th dimensional essence. Wonderful. So beautifully, smells like so activating, so pure, right? And now I want you to tune in, because this is the final piece before we go into the quantum surgery part of it. And this is tune in and go, what percentage am I towards the realities of sovereignty and freedom and abundance, and stepping into and holding the, the 5D grids, and stepping onto the 5D grids, stepping through the 5D gates? And what percentage am I away from? Meaning, we're now going to check if the work that we've done is enough to go to the next step. So what we look at is, what percentage am I towards and what percentage am I away from? So what part of me wants to stay in the old grid, in the grids where I'm paying that price, and what part of me wants to leave that grid fully and step into the new one? And we're looking for 100% towards. However, we're also needing to check as a collective. So right now, what I want you to do is tune in and feel, am I 100% towards this? Doesn't mean you can't, that doesn't mean it might not be nerves. I want to establish something here so it's not misunderstood. You might be a bit nervous, it's new. It's more, if you were right now to take a step, would you step? If you were right now to jump, would you jump? Or would you not? That's the, like, does that make sense? Is there any stopping you from entering this grid? That's when you know you're 100% towards. Because when there's a bit of an away from, we don't take the action. Does that make sense? So this happens to people all the time. They might want to launch an offering or create a product, but they're not actually 100% towards it, and therefore they don't jump. So now what I want you to do is really feel in and go, if all you had to do right now was jump off a beautiful cliff into some water, and it was maybe 4 meters high. And of course, if some of you have massive height issues, that could not be the right metaphor to use. So I'm going to change it. If all you had to do was take a step forward because the grid was right in front of you and you just needed to step into it, and that would be the work, would any of you not take the step? Would any of you not take the step? And so instead, I want to ask, would every one of you take the step? Raise your hand if you would take the step right now. And if you would not take the step, I want you to type into the comments, I would not take the step. Ria is, something is, yeah, beautiful. Ria, please come off mute. Yep, so this is where now we're going to spend a little bit of time looking at anyone in the collective that has something. Please know we're a collective, and whoever's coming up with this is actually working on the whole grid. Some of you aren't even consciously aware that you might have, you may not take the jump. So let's all give everyone that's coming off mute now that beautiful reverence. Ria, coming off first, please.
I would still take the jump.
Beautiful.
But there is that thing that, like, wow, there's so many people in that victimhood mentality. Are there actually going to be enough people who are radically responsible so I can serve that kind of people? Because I don't want to serve the victims anymore. It's just sometimes I'm kind of like, really? I see the victimhood mentality everywhere.
Totally, because that's the reality that you're currently in due to this frequency. This is important. So, Ria, when you look around the collective here, do you see victims or do you see beautiful, courageous, amazing souls that are self-reflective?
I see souls that perhaps all of us have been in that victimhood state at some point, but that have taken really bold step not to be like that.
Right, but would you say that the frequency of the souls inside of our little group today,
No.
would you say that they fall into that, what those victims that you see around the world?
Definitely not.
Great, hold that, and this is for everyone. So, my beautiful friends, remember that there are many different versions of Earth, countless alternate parallel versions of Earth. And yes, there's a version of Earth with a lot of victims on it. A lot of people that are in scarcity, needing help. Does this make sense? And then there are a lot of people, then there are worlds with a lot of people awakening in higher consciousness. There are different versions of Earth right now. And our templates, our frequency is literally what has a point of attraction to being in that version of Earth and recreating that version of Earth, meaning that even in that moment when Ria says, I look at the world and I see so many people in the spiritual industry that are friggin', and to be honest, it would be like she's basically saying she sees so many people in the spiritual industry that are running the servitude and sacrifice templates and living a life of a great sacrifice and great scarcity and great survival. Now, guess what? That's not my world. I don't live on Ria's world. I live on a world where there are so many light leaders evolving so fast that every time I connect into the quantum to call people in to any one of the grids that I've created, like New Earth Mission Collective or Magic School, or there's a new program called Codex of Abundance coming out. Every day I see new people. I feel new souls. There's more and more and more and more. There was a tremendous amount of people on the planet ready to receive Magic School. Does this make sense? And in my world, not only do they exist, but they come in and we play together. This is so important because when we take a shift, when we truly take a shift and we let go of templates and we let go of and we don't pay the price anymore, and we receive and we embody, we leave realities, we move to a totally different reality. And that's why sometimes the shift has us in this reality no longer have relationships or connections that we had here. This is where sometimes clients will fall away because they were in this earth, not in this one. And sometimes friends will fall away because they were in this earth, they couldn't come and join you. They don't exist. That even when you shift and you let them out of your life, they don't actually exist in this world. They're an echo, a shadow in this world. You don't bump into them physically. Does that make sense? Is this helpful, Ria? This is so important for everyone to get to, that I want you to now sit with this and tell me if it feels true for you. Does it feel truth for you, Ria, that when you let go of templates that are creating a point of attraction, you then no longer find yourself in that reality anymore and you shift to a different one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to serve these kind of people anyway, and these kind of people actually never become my clients. So of course they never become my clients because it's not my clients. They're still my orbit though. So I think the shift for me will be because my clients themselves are beautiful. They're not victims by any stretch of imagination, but it's just completely shifting out of those victim kind of reality. So those people don't even come to my orbit as the never to be clients saying, oh, sorry, well, I can't afford it, or oh, sorry, no, I don't think I'm ready yet, or, you know, I'm scrambling things up together and maybe next year I'll be able to join you. And yeah, I don't want that.
Right. And this is really powerful for everyone right now. So thank you. Now with this, let's have a look at what have we've actually got right now. We've also got, what have we got? An energy of pushing something away. We've got I don't want that anymore, you know? And when we've got an energy inside of us of, oh, you know, then wouldn't we agree that there's a little bit of defense mechanism potentially activated? And so even feeling into you saying, I don't want these people to even message me or email me or come anywhere. So, you know, effectively now it's gone from, hey, all I see is these people. If I shift, then I'll have no, like, you know, where will all the people go? Now there's a new perspective, and it's, I actually don't want these people to come with me into this world. And if you don't want these people to come into this world with you, knowing what we know about how there's points of attraction with frequency, I'm kind of curious, Ria, tune into your own truth. If you have a resistance towards these people, are you able to function in a frequency where you don't even notice them? Or
I can.
And this is,
I can, because I will never even help these people because I've got no respect for them and they have no respect for me. So there is no this dissonance, there's no resonance. So I think I'm kind of already shifting. It's
totally.
Yeah, it's just those last bits are kind of the old self. You know, it's just unfamiliarity. But thank you for breaking it all down.
And I think because we're only like there's a tiny weeny bit left, just to try. It's the smallest bit. And thank you, because this is serving the whole grid. What if we know that? What if we look as a part of this is also looking at that version of humanity in a different way? Yeah. So yes, of course, if we're running savior, hero, you know, templates in any way, shape or form in our service, if we're needing to save someone, right, then there's a point of attraction, and the people that need to be saved or want to be saved are going to find their way to us in some way, shape or form. And then of course we dance this way, right? Yet, and you don't have to take this, like this is just on offer for anyone who would like to, and if it resonates, cool. What if the people that are in that frequency of consciousness, that they are holding the opposite templates, and some of them are actually holding hero and savior templates too? What if you got to know what happened to them, how they actually, I'd like to share this with you, it's important. because this isn't about poo-pooing all the victims in the world or poo-pooing, like, you know, the ones that have been playing with us when we had these templates in place, the ones that, you know, are high maintenance and need a lot of work and need a lot of help. I want you to kind of get that there are people that have been running in the light worker grid on earth. So many souls have been running this sacrifice, hero, savior stuff. Look at all of our movies. There's a hero. Can we even like acknowledge that it's all hero based? The other, like when this was dismantling in my field, I remember I was watching a TV show called Supergirl, and I was like, observe, she's a hero who sacrificed, you know, gave up love, she gave up everything to be Supergirl, and like, you know, she needed to, her life did not matter. She was Supergirl. She had a high calling. And I remember as this was dismantling, I was thinking, man, your life sucks. Like, it really sucks. And then it's like, wow, heroes' lives really suck. They're not fun at all. Who'd ever want to be a hero? And obviously, for the same things you guys answered the first question to, yet there are people on this planet that have been running lifetimes of being a hero and a savior so long that their soul is exhausted. They are exhausted in that regard. In this lifetime, they're now playing maybe the opposite part because they have sacrificed so many lifetimes, or could even be their lifetime. They could have spent the first 30 years of this current lifetime sacrificing, giving to others, and now it's their turn. And there's a flip. Does that make sense? That it's just the templates. It's literally the codes. And it's for us to have compassion when we see it and to only see the sovereign being inside of them. Our invitation when we take the shift and when we receive this template is allowing us to see the sovereign soul inside of every being and not actually see the hologram that they're putting out. Does that make sense? That we, with this template, are awakening the sovereignty within others because we know they're sovereign. We know behind all their bullshit, all their drama, all their narratives, what's actually at the core of them is sovereign. Now, we invite the sovereign version of them to co-create with us. If that's not available, then we lovingly let them go. I want to say that again. We invite the sovereign inside of them to co-create with us. And if they are not willing, because everyone's got free will, right? Around us with this new templating, every single person actually gets to have more light expand. They'll naturally come into more sovereignty, more I amness. And isn't that a beautiful gift? Which means that in this reality, in this new reality, because of who we are, they react differently around us. They respond differently. Haven't you noticed that you are different around different frequencies? Is this helpful? And so, Ria, you can, like, honestly, it doesn't really matter if you feel like, nah, you know, just that's because sometimes we go through a process where we actually have to say a sacred no to a frequency in order to leave a grid. And there's nothing wrong with saying sacred no to a frequency. It's actually a really powerful process of shifting universes. And for some of you, it's not a sacred no. It's actually knowing that there is a sovereignty within every soul. There is no being that hasn't got source inside of them. It's just dysfunctional templates. The person, the soul, is pure and beautiful and amazing. And you can look at them that way. And if they don't want to play, then of course, you can just let them leave the field or gently have the boundaries from the higher aspects of the fight mechanism to say, hey, you know what, this isn't working. So thank you, Ria, and take whatever you want to. If you feel to do sacred no is powerful. Some of you, like even reflecting back, you can see in aspects of your life, you've had to go sacred no to a frequency. There are certain frequencies that you need some of this like sacred no, goddess, God, you know, frequency, and foof, everything goes that way. Ria, I choose to see dysfunctional patterns and say sacred no. Perfect. And then for others, you've got the other way to go about it. Is that helpful to sort of, yeah, there's many paths, many paths. There's not just one way we can do something. All right, I think this is complete. Now, is there anybody else that was feeling anything come up, or did that conversation with Ria really support? Is there anybody else that's like, nah, still something there for me around letting go of all of like this still? Is there anyone? Just let me know, me, or otherwise, hold up some love. Me, Mel? Yep.
Yeah, thank you. That was so great, Gabby. What an awesome explanation. I don't know if this is mine or if I'm just speaking into the collective energy, but I feel like there's something around leaving behind others, like leaving behind your family, leaving behind people who you love, and this kind of like grid of not hierarchy of family, but you did explain it pretty well, and I feel like that got me personally across the board. But there's still this frequency of like, if I go ahead and I step into this new reality, then I'm going to leave my family and my loved ones behind, and there's a responsibility to them.
Thank you. This is a big one, and it's actually one of the biggest pieces around souls not evolving and not ascending and staying in the same realities. Because what if in this reality, some of these people that I like and I love aren't going to come with me? I'm going to put it to you slightly differently. Most of the time, you're just going to have the version of them show up in this reality that's even more delicious than you could possibly imagine. And then, yes, there are times, depending on what you're moving through, that if you have been a hero, if you've been playing these templates out in a really expansive way, and the relationship that you've had with a friend or a family member has been very, like it's been in the fawn and it's been codependent and it's been like, does that make sense? Like the whole relationship has been built on you being their savior, you being their hero. When you let this go, they have a choice to come with you. They do, through like literally every time we evolve, the invitation is placed into the heart of every single person. Every time we ascend, the invitation is, this is literally like everyone around us has the invitation. And if they don't choose to ascend in that moment with you, and in that moment, you might part ways for a period of time, you've got to trust that coming here is in your highest good, even if it cost you a friend, even if it cost you a brother. And I want to share this because we don't have the ability to control them. They've got free will. Our job's just to place invitations of ascension into people's being. Kind of comes back to the day one, I think, when Rebecca was asking, or maybe your question around how can we help others ascend with us, whichever day that was. I think it was day 3. And the truth of the matter is that we can only be the example. The only thing we can do is be the example and take the ascension journey ourselves. And every time we do that, we are placing invitations to others. Some of them will come and some of them won't. And if they don't come into a much higher frequency reality with us, where we are super happy, this is a reality of more freedom, more joy, more fun. There's more love here. And so we think we're losing love. We're like, well, what if I lose love on my way to here? It's impossible. Every time we ascend, we experience more love. And now let's really feel into this. Feel into it. Would you agree that every time you've ascended to, like, you've actually experienced more love in the new world? And so now we get to go mind, because this is a mind thing, Mel. The mind's like, it's not safe, this is how the mind is like, and we get to go mind, because the mind likes this. The best way we coach the mind. If anyone is having a mental ascension, I really recommend you do a coaching diploma and learn how to really be awesome at coaching, because it's perfect for talking to your mind. And then we want to tell the mind, okay, let's have a look at this. Every time we've done this, what's been there? And the mind's like, well, it's been better. And has there been some people we've let go of because we evolved? Yes. And was that better for us in the long run? Yes. So I'm going to ask you, my beautiful Mel, who's the representative of this in this moment, every single time you've ascended to a higher consciousness of love, has it been, would you go back now to the old realities?
No,
Great.
I wouldn't go back.
Has there been people you have let go of along the journey that have left they're not in your shared realities, they haven't come with you into some of the new realities?
Yes.
And were some of those people hurtful to have leave the field? Did it
Yeah.
hurt? Yeah.
Yeah.
And now looking back, would you undo that? Do you want them back in your life now as they were back then?
I feel like I couldn't actually tolerate that. Like I even find it hard to even look back and see, almost, because it's like I've changed so much that that's not like it doesn't match me.
Yeah.
But there's also underneath that is this fear that if I keep going, will there be anybody like left around me?
And what's the truth of that? Sit with that, because that's just your mind trying to give you, that's literally your mind. Right now, you're channeling your mind.
Yeah.
So now, what's the truth? Ask your higher self. What's the actual truth?
Of course there'll be people. There's always people at every single place that I'm at, and it will only get better.
And do you have people around you that you know have the same level of devotion to ascension as you do?
Yes, I do.
Is it highly likely they'll be coming with you?
Of course.
How does that feel, beautiful Mel's mind?
It feels exciting and safer. Like I'm not I think it's kind of like zooming out of the reality of like my town and my family and where I live and like the smallness of this world, and like zooming up into a little bit more of a soul higher self perspective to see like the global, my friends all over the world and the people who I actually spend the most time in communication and connection with isn't in my little village, and that through that grid is supreme safety, is supreme spirit, and it's actually there's more people there. So that's the safety I think that my heart was questioning. Yeah.
And this is also like, this is where, I love this. This kind of goes back to what we were talking about yesterday morning with the importance of building a relationship with our mind, because our mind's primary purpose is to keep us safe. And when it does this, and we want to, with love, be able to guide it. And the best person to guide your mind is your higher selves or your higher self, because they're able to talk, that they've got the language, Mel, how do you feel now about this?
I'm so excited. I just want to jump off that cliff.
Yay.
And it also comes back to like, I'm here. This is actually what I'm here for. I've got to take that jump. I've got to show others what's possible. We're here actually leading the way. So, like I don't want to go back to the old grids. I can't. I'm ready. 100%. My whole field is 100%.
Yay. Yes, awesome. Love that. And can everyone else feel that in the collective, that our field's more ripe and ready? Now, is there anybody else that doesn't feel ready to do this? Let me know by saying me, me, me. Whoop, whoop. That's not the same. I feel the more of us take the jump, the more chances is the people will see a different way. Yes, of course. Emily, yeah, so this is important, just to collectively hold this and know, like I said, that anyone who brings something, we're working in the quantum, the subconscious. Some of you literally have this stuff going subconsciously and you don't even have access to it consciously. This is what the subconscious is. This is also why we are working as a collective, and collective work is so great this way. So if you can please come off, and we've got all day, even if we do the activation after lunch. So there's no rush, cool? Which we probably won't. We'll take a little break and we'll do the activation and have our lunch break later, if that's okay with you. Now, Emily, my love, please come off mute.
Thank you. I guess it's just hard to reconcile leaving behind all of like the refugees and things like that in this world, because I feel like it is expansive and they are ascending as well, and it's not like this dichotomy of yeah, they're not being people
Okay,
who are
cool.
trapped. Yeah.
So please know that when we stop being a hero, a savior, this is so important. I love that you've shared this. We're not leaving anyone behind, my love. In fact, it's the opposite. We empower them. We see the light within them. We're actually serving them for the first time ever. We serve no one by seeing them as less than. We serve no one by placing them below us in a hierarchical ascend, whatever, enlightenment, in any way, shape or form. As soon as we put someone below us needing our saving, we are doing the opposite of serving them. We are doing the opposite of freeing them. We're actually placing them deeper into grids of them being incapable. Every time you look at a soul refugee, homeless person, whatever, someone who's in victimhood, with massive narratives of the whole world is, working against me. Every time you see them playing out their hologram realities and you look beyond that and you see the light within and you know that they are actually a sovereign being, every time you don't buy into someone's hologram limitations and see who they truly are, that's when we serve. Does that feel true for you, my love?
It does. I guess I wasn't thinking about all of the refugees in terms of the ones in scarcity, because there are so many who are, like there's poets, there's artists, there's like, they're all ascending for sure. And I guess I feel like it's, I realize it's the whole, there's all of the other realities and worlds, but I also feel like it's selfish. And I don't know, it just feels like if there's worlds where there's no refugees, it's not like there needs to be refugees, but I think it's just like, maybe it's the cultural side, I think.
Okay, I want to share something with you, because please understand that wherever we place our life force energy and anchor our energy into, we solidify that part of the universe, and then that part of the universe gets to evolve and expand and ascend and grow. So when we look at the golden age of existence or the new earth realities, right? When we look at them, I want you to kind of see them, for the purpose of this, as there are all these little baby new earths, little guga, cute little smushy babies in their blankets, right? And then there's these old earths, older earths, it's old, 120 years of age, lived a long life, right? And I'm kind of curious, who do you think needs more love and nurture? The older person who's already grown up, or the little baby that's just come into life?
Yeah, the new.
And so now I'm kind of curious, want to instead hold a baby new earth and give it your love and attention and allow sovereignty and freedom to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow until all the old earths morph and evolve and humanity ends up existing in a completely different level of consciousness than it used to. Every new earth baby we hold and we nurture, we are sending our life force energy into that grid, that configuration. Every time we go into an old earth reality and plug into that old earth reality, that's where we're creating more reality. This is the life force source energy inside of us. And so I'm curious, how does that shift things for you, my love?
It feels less heavy. The cost was my soul song. It's like the last question.
And then when you look at the original thing of not leaving behind realities, I'm kind of curious, right? At what point of your, well, every time you ascend, Emily, is it fair to say that you hold more love in your field? Yeah.
Lifting the other worlds up, but that's, yeah, see how it's.
And stay with me though, because can you actually see yourself staying in our reality, the exact one that you've been in, right? Where everything's the same, staying in that grid, that set of realities, 3D, 4D realities. Now, can you continue your ascension journey as a consciousness and be a 5th dimensional consciousness, 6th dimensional consciousness, keep evolving and ascending and expanding and, you know, and still live in those realities without it starting to hurt and feel too much for your system? Will there, do you feel like there'll come a time where you physically can't be there anymore?
Yeah, it's killing me.
It's already doing that now, isn't it? And yes, I'll give you some technologies as time goes on. Yet please know we are, as much as our missions will have us, because the 4D bridge is open, connecting realities, literally allowing this. So it's so easy to quantum jump, yet it's also so easy to quantum jump into realities not so awesome as well. There's so many realities, so many timelines. There's more realities and more timelines now than we've ever experienced before the last couple of years. And even though some of us have chosen to stay connected to certain realities, to plant codes and to do what we're actually doing, those we're creating bridges. So please, we're not meant to be in that reality and just be in it. The purpose of it is we're actually in our own reality connected to those realities, and we're creating bridges. And then the people from there can come over to here. We're literally creating bridges of light codes. This conversation is me standing in a reality and placing bridges in front of you. This conversation I'm having with you right now is, I'm not leaving you behind. I'm able to communicate with us in different realities, and I've chosen to anchor here and create bridges to other realities from here. And then does this resonate with you, Emily?
It feels better, yeah.
And now would you like to come and anchor into a reality where you can drop bridges all over the universe and invite people to ascension? Thank you. There is more service beyond the hero. There is more service beyond the savior. It's pure service. And I don't really like to use the word false light template. However, the old templates we're referring to are 3rd dimensional light worker templates. The templates that we're now receiving are 5th dimensional light worker templates. Does this make sense? This whole abundant service thing is a 5th dimensional template to place into our field to then create new realities from. And so it's, you know, not even like, that means that the old way of doing it is 3rd dimensional. How do we know? Because it's duality. At the heart of it, we've got duality. Anything that has duality at the heart of the template is a 3D template. And it can be lower realm, mid realm, or higher realm. Does that make sense? I love that you've received this. Bridget, how do you feel? Did that alchemize things for you, or is there something else that you're wanting to add? There's a love heart. How'd you do the love heart? How did... I like that you can press a love heart on each other's things. Oh, there's another one. Bridget.
I just had a major alchemy with what you just said. Yeah, so for me it was very much around what Emily was saying, like the leaving behind. I've got massive history of Saviour codes from working in medicine.
Yeah.
But also what was coming up for me was I was projecting back to when I was in massive dark night of soul 5 or 6 years ago. And what if nobody had helped me? Then this is what was coming up. Like, what if I got left behind? Then I wouldn't be here now. And I don't want that to happen to other people. That doesn't seem right. And then, but then what you said,
consciousness will never do that to anyone.
But then I couldn't believe it when you talked about the bridges, and because I kept getting that my name is Bridget and I'm here to bridge it. And so when you brought in that bridginality, that just like totally cleared things for me. Not 100%, because obviously, as you can see, I'm still got some stuff around this. But but you said we're not leaving people behind, we're building a bridge. And I was like, okay, yes, I can work with that.
Please know, I love that you've got this. This is so fundamental that we can, who here has ever heard that your greatest mission is your own ascension? That truth has been shared time and time again. If you're hearing it for the first time, well, there you have it. Yet, why is this the case? Because every time we chose, the physical, as like we being human, coming into this physical body, we are now directly in the interface of this part of the universe. And this part of the universe has many, many different realities, earths, and it's like timelines, realities, earths, like it is, whoa. You know, every movement is you going into another version of you, because it's all still shots of now. And even to experience motion, I'm moving through 1 billion versions of myself just to do this. That's the quantum. And every time we ascend, every time one person on this planet ascends, because we're interconnected, we are connected to the collective grid and the collective consciousness of Earth, the planet, in realities that you wouldn't even know exist. There's so many realities we don't know exist because they haven't been on the Discovery Channel and we haven't traveled to them. There's a lot more realities than we consciously know about. And that's the collective consciousness of Gaia, of Earth. Every time one of us ascends, what do we do to the whole collective consciousness grid? Raise it. That's what's happening right now. More and more people on the planet, millions of people are awakening, and their journeys are faster and faster and faster than those that walked before them, because more and more people are anchoring here, and bridges, and people can walk along those bridges faster. What could have taken us 10 friggin' years? Kelly gave you a bridge yesterday. Took her years to collect all of that, so she could give you a bridge that had you walk along it in 1 day. Just thank you that this so powerful, this work, right? Now, I take it Bridget's feeling pretty happy to jump. Yeah. Love that. Awesome.
Yeah, I was ready to jump actually, but that came up during the discussion. So thank you.
Thank you. And then we've also got so many bridges from light beings. We've got so many star racers, light beings, angels working with us. It's not our responsibility to work in every version of reality. And by the way, we're not, even if we think we're doing great work here with the refugees or here with whatever, please get that there's so many realities you don't even know about, and so many light workers working there, non-physical, physical. Just allow it. Rhea says, when I was going through the dark night of the soul, there was no other human to help, really. The right person turned up, but they were not in my old reality at all. They were in the whole new perspective. And there's those pieces too. There's someone in your reality couldn't help you anyway. Of course, you'd have to connect with someone who dropped a bridge down. And this is what I meant by, some of us have missions right now with the 4D bridge to be connected to 3D. You can be embodying 5D consciousness and still going into 3D and 4D realities, because you've agreed to place bridges. Does that make sense? Is this cool? Love this. Yay. Yay. Yes, that's who helped me. My Acturian family, was with me when no other human was. Exactly. And So this is where we also get to allow that it's not, this is huge. The last piece to this, we're going to take a break, come back and receive the thing. The last piece to this is it's not your responsibility. The new earth is not your responsibility or yours or yours or yours or yours or mine. The new earth is a collective creation. We collectively said, let's create this. Let's create this and this. Let's come down and do this together. And it's going to be fun. This is huge. And there's so, remember how I said to you the other day that, you know, if I need to take a break, I get another version of me in the quantum to do something. Please get it. It's beyond even you doing it. There are light beings. There are other people. If there's other people, there's so many. And the frequency we do it in has to be love and has to be seeing someone in sovereignty for it to really work. It's magic. So yes, can we just do one of these? Because this is such a profound time. And raise your hands up high if this conversation has been really helpful and has shifted so much.